tonight on News 5 Live. An in-depth look at upcoming Amnesty program and the migrant situation in Belize. Prime Minister John Bersenyo leads a delegation including Belize City Mayor Bernard Wagner to Kigali, Rwanda. And GOB's housing project delivers in Lake Eye. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
I'm always on the go, and the country is my home. So when I want to get away from it all, I immerse myself with my favorite movies, all from the new Smart Stream app. It's easy to use this service. Purchase your movies from the app and use your mobile data, Smart Stream data packages, or smart broadband to stream and enjoy. Be like me and stream on the go with Smart Stream.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benqueviejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
Digifans, the 2022 Belize Telephone Directory is now available. Pick up your free copy at any Digistore and ENR branches countrywide. Check out our cellular, residential, and Yellow Page listings. It's the most complete guide in Belize. You can also access the directory on the go by downloading the free Find Yellow mobile app from the Google Play and Apple Store. For more info, log on to www.findyellow.com. The 2022 Belize Telephone Directory. Get your copy today.
To bring the energy and entertainment back to Tuesday nights. It's time for the return of KTV The Remix. We're looking for new talent for this year's competition. Auditions will be held at Channel 5 Studios in Belize City on June 25th and 26th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. You must be 16 years or older. Bring your best voice and come TV ready.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
If you low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Time to bring the energy and entertainment back to Tuesday nights. It's time for the return of KTV The Remix. We're looking for new talent for this year's competition. Auditions will be held at Channel 5 Studios in Belize City on June 25th and 26th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. You must be 16 years or older. Bring your best voice and come TV ready.
Risk of virus. This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
We apologize for the technical issues experienced earlier, and we now begin our newscast in full. Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Thursday, June 16th. I am Sabrina Daly. Tonight, we take a closer look at the pending Amnesty program and what it means for undocumented persons living in Belize. If you've lived in Belize since 2016 or before and have no documentation to show your immigration or nationality status, you might be able to successfully apply for the amnesty in Belize. This will be the third such program, with the first held in 1984 and the second in 1999. There is now an estimated minimum of 40,000 irregular migrants in Belize, and as of August 1st, the government of Belize will begin an amnesty program. The International Organization for Migration office in Belize has been at the helm in assisting, and there's a list of categories under which you might be able to apply. If you are one of those people in Belize, News 5's Marion Ali has the details in the following report.
Perhaps you're one of the thousands of migrants who have crossed into Belize over the decades, settled down and had children, and have worked in the shadows to provide for your family. You have never been able to vote or claim Belizean citizenship because you have no immigration documents to declare your status. But very soon, in August, you'll be able to apply for amnesty, and if you're approved, you'll no longer need to hide from immigration authorities for fear of being deported. Head of the International Organization for Migration Office in Belize, Diana Locke, shared with News 5 that there are actually 8 different categories under which you can qualify.
The majority of persons who are applying under the amnesty are persons who have Belizean children. Asylum seekers, persons who from 2016 came to Belize and registered themselves as asylum seekers, 2016 or even before. Those persons are qualified. Those who are still waiting to be heard by the Refugee Eligibility Committee, they have an option to participate in the amnesty. Those persons who have been refused and who never left Belize when they were refused as asylum seekers. You have persons who are married to a Belizean. That is a category at this point in time which, without an amnesty, persons would have qualified. Persons who have held valid work permits for 5 years or more. We have persons in common law union.
It is important for people who fall under these categories to seek asylum, because when the phase is closed, the immigration laws will be more stringent, Locke advised.
Our aim at IOM is to try to ensure that everybody is aware of this, that you take advantage of it. The government has said to us that when this process is over, they will begin looking at stricter measures and enforcement activities to ensure that people are complying with the laws of Belize and that we don't get to this point again in terms of the amount of people who are here in an irregular status.
Those who are in that irregular status can get the assistance they need, such as applying for asylum through the IOM's office, which has been holding hubs in all 6 districts to walk people through the different processes.
We have been helping people to complete the application form. What that means for us, we have had to utilize or contacts or funds to actually print application forms, to do electronic means flyers to get the message out there. We have basically set up an entire, if I could call it, assembly line in the application process. So we have the Central American embassies that have joined us from time to time on the hubs, where they offer information on obtaining birth certificates from the countries or passports or whatever it is that is needed in the application process.
IOM has already offered assistance to over 3,000 persons through the district hubs, with only the Cayo district left, tentatively set for July 2nd and 3rd. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
Persons who are approved will have to wait for 5 years to be able to vote in elections in Belize and to claim Belizean nationality. Those who do not qualify for amnesty are assisted by IOM to return to their country of origin. The repatriation of Cuban nationals to their home country, those who entered Belize illegally, poses an immigration and foreign affairs challenge for government officials. They cannot be deported through another country, and since Cuba is an island nation, arrangements have to be made for them to be returned directly. Viewers would recall that earlier this week, Justice Showman delivered a decision in a matter where 7 Cuban migrants who entered the country unlawfully were ordered to leave Belize. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs is working on the best possible means of deporting these individuals, notwithstanding the challenges at hand.
In the case of the Cubans, it's a difficult situation. It's a difficult situation because we cannot deport them to a third country. We have to send them back to Cuba. There are no direct flights, there is no bus, there is no boat to Cuba. So we're actively talking to friends about how we can get that done in relation to this one. And in September, we have negotiations in Cuba with the Cuban government, trying to have a protocol on the deportation of Cubans from Belize. We are trying to create a scenario in which the immigration laws of Belize are obeyed, that those who are legitimate asylum seekers will get a fair hearing, and if they satisfy the criteria, will be given refugee status and protection, And we are also trying to ensure that only Belizeans have Belizean nationality. I just received my advice from the Crowns on how to cancel approximately 30 nationalities that are illegal, and I'm going to cancel them. We are to clean up a very difficult situation, let me put it that way.
There have been several requests from chartered flights carrying Haitian visitors to arrive in Belize in the weeks ahead. All indications are, however, that those aircrafts won't be allowed to touch down at the PGIA. That's because many of those on board have been arriving on one-way tickets without hotel arrangements and end up being smuggled out of the country en route to the United States. It's a concerning situation, one that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Immigration Department are aware of. A recently published article online delves into the business of human smuggling using these charters. Foreign Minister Eamon Courtney explains Belize's stance on these arrivals.
I can send you an article from Yahoo News yesterday that explained the corrupt and abusive mafia that is using charter flights out of Haiti to smuggle Haitians. We have taken a decision this week, and I informed Cabinet yesterday, that we have requests over the next 6 weeks, for a number of flights to come charter Haiti, Belize. In collaboration with civil aviation, we are not going to allow them to land. And if we have to reverse the provision of Haitians coming to Belize without a visa, we are going to do so. Why? Because these people are abused by smugglers. They are trafficked by smugglers, and we will not allow it to happen through Belize as long as we can stop it.
On Tuesday, Cabinet met to discuss several matters which include an increase in requests for permits to allow charter flights from Haiti to Belize. The ministry has assessed these applications carefully and has determined that these are not genuine tourist flights. In consultation with the Ministry of Blue Economy and Civil Aviation, permission to land will not be granted. The minister is also contemplating a revocation of visa-free travel to Belize from Haitians. Elsewhere in today's cabinet brief, approval was given for a new intake of an additional 150 police officers to join the ranks of law enforcement. Interested persons must present at least a high school diploma and do not require a recommendation from their area representative. In line with that announcement, Cabinet has also given the green light for funding of the 2022 Cattle Battle Camp for the Belize Defense Force Volunteer Element and the BDF Youth Cadet Corps. Funding will be made through the Ministry of National Defense and Border Security. Coming up, Deputy Prime Minister Cordell Hyde holds over in the extended absence of PM Briceño.
It's Super Handy Dad's month again at Brothers a Bit and Habet and Habet, and that means super deals and super gifts for that super special dad. And we're bringing the power to all Super Handy Dads all month with 15% off all power tools and accessories from Stanley, Black & Decker, DeWalt, Skill and Bosch, and 15% off our entire brand new line of Track automotive batteries. Super powerful! Plus super clearance deals on Westinghouse lights, select paint colors, and much more. So come in today to Habet and Habet and Brothers a Bit this Super Handy Dads month and pick up these super deals at super savings.
Babe, have you seen the advisory that NEMA just posted? There's going to be a storm.
Storm? It's not a storm. That's just a little rain. We'll be all right.
Thank goodness that was only a simulation. But what if it wasn't? Consider this. You've worked hard building your future, your family, your business, your home. RFNG Insurance has policy options that can protect your most valued assets so that you can focus on what matters most. Include RFNG Insurance in your hurricane prep. Remember, it pays to get it right with RFNG Insurance, a Road Group company.
My name is Kenrick and I live in Belize City, and I'm employed as an agent for a company that does reservations for hotels from all over the world. Since amputation, my life has changed minimally. Yes, I don't have my legs to get around, but I have always been an active person. So I do things a little bit more deliberate, a little bit more slower maybe, but I still get it done. Let's say they say we're going to some restaurant, wherever. I need to call and say, do you have access to a wheelchair? And they say, yes, of course. Then I would ask the second question, can I get into your restroom with a wheelchair? And then 99% of the time they'll say no. I would like to encourage everybody who has a disability to not give up. Never, 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 ever give up.
Live and let live. Respect for all Belizeans.
My name is Wilmer De La Rosa from Santa Elena Town. I am currently a student at CAIO, set for employment training. Enrolled in the electrical installation program. In late July 2021, I got a confirmation that I was a successful applicant and would be granted a scholarship from Social Security Board. It was one of the proudest moments for me. I felt very excited to start this new path in my life. So far on my journey as a Social Security Board scholar, my vocational technical scholarship has assisted me in achieving my life goals in so many ways. For one, it has renewed sense of purpose, another chance at professional development, and a start at a new career. This opportunity has paved the way for me to excel in life as an individual and as a member of society. Great things are coming after I graduate from SET. I can promise you that. Applying for a vocational technical scholarship through the Social Security Board is simple and easy. I would advise young people in need to apply. It is possible to create a fulfilling and fruitful life with a Social Security scholarship. Believe in yourself and your abilities and skills. I always say, the key is to always keep an open mind and let your determination be your motivation.
As we told you last night, Prime Minister John Bersenio will be attending a host of international events over the next 3 weeks, which will require him to be out of the country for an extended period. PM Bersenio departed the country today en route to Brussels and then on to Kigali, Rwanda, to attend the 22nd Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. In his absence, Deputy Prime Minister Cordell Hyde will hold over as Prime Minister. We caught up with Hyde in Belize City this morning, where he was asked about what can be expected of him during this period.
We don't stress too much about that. We have very capable ministers. We have very capable public officers who are able to do their jobs and do it well. Unless there's a big problem, then everything will be okay. I must try to restrain myself from not going over to the Treasury, going over to the Ministry of Finance and authorizing some expenditures there. I'm just kidding, but no, we don't expect any major issues for the next month or so. We have some of the best ministers ever, man, so I think we'll be good.
Leaving Belize on Friday en route to the Central African country of Rwanda will be Belize City Mayor Bernard Wagner and his newly installed deputy, Alan Pollard. Both officials will attend the Commonwealth Local Government Forum, to which Wagner is a board member. The forum is funding the trip for the municipal heads to sit in discussions over sustainable urbanization post-COVID. Wagner told us what he expects to come out of the forum.
How do we address the rise or the increase in people living in cities and having and really not having that the economic stability to really fend for themselves? And what happened here is just like what happened in Belize City, that people not having they are suffering through poverty, obviously. And now they have to be squatting on government lands and on planned urbanization, which involves squatting, and that leads to poverty, it leads to further environmental degradation, it leads to crime, a sort of hopelessness. And the focus of the conference is how do we, across the entire Commonwealth, address these issues that are facing human beings, these unplanned urbanization, and how do cities plan human settlements and cities going into the future, given the fact that within the next, by 2050, another 2 billion people will be living in cities, and that is one of the challenges many of the cities in our regions are facing.
The two city officials return home next week, Saturday. Cayo South Area Representative Julius Espat will not be pressing any charges against WPC Alicia Trapp following a spat with the officer on June 5th in Tikettle Village. Trapp made an initial report alleging that she was assaulted by Espat. However, the Commissioner of Police wrote to her attorney, Orson Elrington, notifying him that the evidence gathered suggests the contrary. WPC Trapp has since been removed from her post as a security officer for cabinet meetings because cabinet members are reportedly concerned that she can no longer carry out such duty with impartiality. Espat and his attorney are also requesting a letter of apology from WPC Trapp, a request that he says is yet to be acknowledged. Here is what Espat told reporters today when we caught up with him in Belize City.
No, but from the beginning, when you asked me this question, I think various media houses asked me, and I have always stated I am not the person, I am not the aggressor. And so I have no need of pressing charges. What I have done is alerted my attorneys to be on hold in case something happens that I have to defend my position, and we're sticking to that. What the police does internally, I have no control of, and they have to do what they need to do. But the truth is, it boils down to national security. This is a police officer that was stationed to protect us in cabinet. And I have a right when I see that person being political and campaigning against the government. I didn't reprimand her, I just told her she was doing wrong. And if we can't defend national security, then I suppose we have a problem. But everybody has rules. I've told you guys before, the police has rules, the media has rules, politicians have rules, and the general populace have rules. We have to start to learn to follow those rules. How would you feel if you were in government and the police officer that is stationed to protect you is vehemently shouting all kinds of negative things about you and your government? Only a fool would not feel concerned. And I definitely am not a fool. And so I think it was my responsibility as a leader of government to make sure that not only me, but all cabinet members feel safe.
Political rivalry is at the heart of these heated exchanges that take place outside of the polling stations during village council elections. And while the Constitution of Belize says that village council elections are by nature non-partisan, the area representative for Cayo South, Julius Espat, says these elections have always been about political rivalries.
You can be hypocritical about it, or you can be truthful. People say it's not political, but it has always been. The villages that decide that they don't want political parties to come in have said so, and that is respected on both sides. But it has always, in fact, I can speak from my experience. You should have been there when we were in opposition. It's no joke. But we know what we're doing. The villagers need the help, and we are there to provide it for them. So the ones that preach that it's not political, it's because they are not winning.
In Crooked Tree earlier today, we spoke with Brandon Gillett, the newly elected village chairman who ran an independent slate in the village council elections back in May. We asked Gillett about his plans for the village.
We run an independent slate with our logo serving the people. And our job is to we want to, I'll try to find a way to put it. We are not putting it like we are working against no political parties. Independent means we are moving with both of them, and it's to us to just help the village move forward. We got so much project that we want to done in the village. Like today, the Ministry of Agriculture has helped us donated 25 load for the Blackburn Road that goes across for the farmers. That's our next big accomplishment for our village council. We have some project like we want to put a permanent cover over the basketball court. We want help the schools, a lot of different stuff.
What has been identified, because I'm sure during your campaign, challenges were identified. What is it that the residents are clamoring for? And
the main problem our village have doing is the roads. The road is terrible. And we're just entering the rainy season, and the roads are in bad shapes, man. So I'm just pleading to the government to just please put that in consideration, the roads.
The latest scratch and win winner is $25,000 richer. Anthony from Belmopan purchased his ticket on Wednesday night and decided not to scratch it until he reached his work desk on Thursday morning. It was there that he discovered that he won $25,000 on a $2 ticket. He spoke to News 5 about the win.
Well, I purchased the ticket last night in Belmopan. I didn't scratch the tickets. I kept it until this morning, actually, when I was at work. I decided, let me scratch these tickets, and it's a couple of tickets. And so I scratched it there at work, and I realized I won the prize.
This is a fresh win. This just happened last night, so I can imagine the excitement and the emotions. You're still dealing with all of that. Tell us what was going through your mind the moment you begin to match up the numbers.
Well, I was so surprised, and at least I know that I'm also fortunate to have win. And like you said, it's just earlier today I realized I win. So, but I'm very fortunate and very thankful as well.
How often do you purchase scratch and win tickets?
Well, I purchase a couple of tickets, maybe once or twice a week.
Our whole reason for being is to generate winners. So every time we get a big winner come into the office, of course it's exciting, and we share in their excitement. So they're excited and we get excited. So like Anthony came in this morning with a $25,000 ticket, and man, just super happy for him.
Graduation ceremonies for caregivers for the elderly and young CYDP participants.
The 2022 Population and Housing Census is here, and our census staff will visit your home over the next 10 weeks. You may ask yourself, what can I expect when my household is visited? Well, data for the census will be collected in two parts. First, the interviewers will list all the buildings in their area of work and record some key characteristics of the building. For example, they will capture whether the building is a dwelling unit, a business, or an institution. They may ask you to confirm some information about the building when in doubt. The second part involves collecting information about each household, such as the number of persons living in the household, the type of dwelling they live in, and access to essential services. Information will also be collected about each household member, including newborns and the elderly. Remember, the data from the census is essential to make informed decisions on policies that could help improve your community. So when we knock on your door or holler at your gate, tell us to count me in. The Statistical Institute of Belize, providing Belize with quality, objective, and timely information.
Boy, fresh already for Father's Day.
Father's Day? But you not got no picnic?
I talk about the Benny's Father's Day Fest. You know hear about that?
That what that? But tell me about this.
On June 18 at Benny's Superstore, Belize City, it's the first ever Benny's Father's Day Fest. It's a 3-in-1 all-day free event. The Benny's 100-cart race, where different racers will compete to claim the top prize and to also see who will become the champion. But wait, popping deals for that. Up to 25% off. And to end off the day, free concert featuring the top artists in Belize like
the one and only Jacobs.
This is Kylo Neely.
This is your girl Yas Talia.
This is Denise Castillo.
Yo, this is Super G the General. The thing I sell off, make sure to come out.
June 18, mark your calendar. It's probably on your phone right now, man.
Dale, the man not the lie, watch the thing, yeah?
Sure.
Why?
Benny's Father's Day Fest.
Download the SmartStream app on the Android Play Store and create your account to get access to movies and stream at home or on the go. Prepaid customers can purchase regular data packages or get a discounted rate on a special SmartStream package by dialing 7737. Postpaid customers will be billed monthly. Never miss a movie again with SmartStream.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Earlier today, a cohort of caregivers for elderly persons graduated from a 17-week course to build their capacity as service providers to a most vulnerable population. The National Council of Aging, in collaboration with the University of the West Indies Open Campus, offered the certification course in care of older persons. At the Biltmore Plaza in Belize City, 15 participants received their certificates. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
It was a proud moment for the 15 participants from the public sector and NGOs who provide direct services to older persons in Belize as they received certification in caring for the elderly population. They were provided with specialized skills and know-how to work with older persons and their families as a professional.
I see it as an opportune time to learn more about the older person. Since we deal with several of these people in our district, right? We decided that I needed to know more what are their needs, how we can assist them more, and try to make their quality of life much better.
Now this is very important for us because depending on the patient's health condition, we need to know how active these patients are so that we can provide the best care to them, look for different treatments.
Minister of Human Development Dolores Balderramos Garcia says that the training holds a special place in her heart. She reflects on the personal case with her mother and how sensitive it is to care for elderly folks.
My mom lived a beautiful, long life of 96 years, but in her later years she needed care. And the aging process is one that we have to be so sensitive in making sure that we take care of our elders. And so I shared that my mom passed away in January. Like I say, she lived until 96, but it was so very important that she received the care and the palliative care and the end-of-life care that we were so willing as all of her children, to provide. And we had an absolute angel of a caregiver in the person of Miss Teresa Kawil from Orange Walk. And she became a part of our family because no money could have really paid, although she, of course, had to get a salary, no money could have paid for the tenderness, the love and the attention that she gave in that aging process.
The participants learned about the human anatomy as well as the legal and ethical issues that come with caregiving and look at the support systems around to benefit older persons.
This training initiative came as part of our previous work plan at the National Council on Aging to build professional capacities. We've done training of caregivers, but we were looking at training professionals who are working day to day in different capacities with older persons.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
This morning, a cohort of students from Grace Primary School was recognized for completing a 6-week course on how to cope with grief. Several of these children have lost their loved ones either to natural causes or gun violence. Through the Department of Youth Services, an initiative was launched to teach them the skills they need to cope with personal losses. News 5 spoke with school principal Diane Garnett and Pamela Dyer of the Department of Youth Services.
We have children whose parents and grandparents were dying from COVID. We had to also be battling with children who were seeing the loss of their parents through gun violence. Now, we as teachers can do our best, but we are not trained to deal with grief and loss. And talking with a friend of mine, I was able to be contacted with Miss Pam, who was also my friend, and to know about this program. Our children have done 2 cohorts, if you want to say that, with them, and we see a significant difference. Children who were withdrawn and closed in have been able to release and say what's happening. Like you heard, they are able to go to words, they're able to use the skills when they gave their testimony about how to deal with grief and how to learn that it's a journey, it's not going to end tomorrow, and that makes a better learning environment for them. It makes a better school for us, so everybody's better able to cope. And that's the value of this program.
Grief and loss is something that, as a society, sometimes we think that it will just go away. But honestly, the trauma remains for a long time, depending especially on how the loss come about. So it is very important. Our department works with youths between the ages of 14 to 29. So when the principal called us, as she had explained, the age limit was below our target. However, looking at the long-term benefit, looking at the crime situation, looking at what is happening with our young people, if we could capture them from an early age to help them to cope, to give them some skills and technique to help them in the sense of to react to trauma in a more positive way and not to give in to negativity, it will really benefit the individual and at large our country.
Early childhood development is one of the pillars of the Ministry of Education. And today, in collaboration with the Belize Social Investment Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank, the Crooked Tree Government School now boasts a preschool building ahead of the upcoming school year in August. News 5's Dwayne Moody attended today's event and files this story.
The new facility, which sits on the Crooked Tree Government School compound, provides a safe space for learning for 3- and 4-year-olds from Crooked Tree Village and neighboring communities. It's equipped with all amenities, including partitioned desks and chairs, as well as bathrooms for the teaching staff and students.
At this moment, we have 19 students enrolled. I'm just appealing to the parents who is out there, please send your child to school, your 3-year-old. Since this preschool consists of a 2-year cohort, and early childhood is very important. So starting next week, Monday, we will be starting to do registration for the new intake.
How many students will be able to be accommodated in this process?
24. We'll be able to accommodate 24 at once. So we have 2 sessions, so we could accommodate 24 4-year-old in the morning and 24 3-year-old in the afternoon sessions.
While Crooked Tree may not have that many infants in the community, Village Chairman Brandon Gillett says it is an exciting moment.
This is a milestone for our village. Education starts from the kids. So it would be a new modern, this is a new modern building, it's a modern age we're living in. People, technology and everything moving forward. A building like this is a milestone for our community, man. And it's like we're looking forward for more stuff and help like this from the government and Belize and SIF also.
Through financing from the Caribbean Development Bank, the price tag was approximately $500,000. Executive Director of the Belize Social Investment Fund, Carlos Tun, breaks down how that money was spent.
The construction of a preschool with a cost of about $500,000 Belize. We also rehabilitated the primary school, changing the roofs and ensuring that they have a storage room as well.
Now, this is not the only thing that you guys have been doing here in the village, right?
No, some months ago we also inaugurated the Maria Crawford Health Center, and we also provided laptops from the Basic Needs Trust Fund program.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
The inauguration in Crooked Tree is one of several projects in a pipeline for the Belize Social Investment Fund. SIF is the premier implementing agency for the country of Belize, focusing on water systems as well as health and education. On the ground, there is a lot of work that needs to be done across the country. Executive Director Carlos Tun shares details on some of these upcoming projects.
Within, for example, water systems, we are currently working in Libertad Concepcion water system, and within education, as you noticed, the preschool was inaugurated today. We also have the San Isidro Government School in pipeline, and also the Corazon Creek High School will soon work will soon start at that school. Most of the water systems, some communities want the rehabilitation. In other words, they have an existing water system, but sometimes the chlorinator is not working, the pump house must be rehabilitated. So we try to engage the community in trying to rehabilitate that system. However, in some areas in the south, there's no water at all in terms of potable water or access to the community. So there where SIF had to do the initial community needs assessment, and from there we are able to secure some funds or loans, and then we start to build and to expand their water system as well.
When we return, a brand new home for a Lake Eye family through government's housing project. But first, here's the weather forecast with data from the Belize Met Service.
Looking for that perfect gift for your dad or grad? Then spoil them with a Samsung. The awesome and affordable phone lineup starts as low as $369 and includes the Galaxy A034, A03s, A12, A13, A22, A23, A33, A52s, A53, S20 FE, S21 FE, and even the Tab A7 Lite and Tab A7 LTE. Shop with confidence, knowing that when you purchase from an authorized Samsung reseller, you enjoy 1-year local warranty with your purchase. So what are you waiting for? Head over to any of Samsung's official partners, including Sun in the World, Digi, Divari, Raju Store, and Westtrack this month, and give your dad or grad an awesome Samsung phone or tablet.
It's almost lunchtime and Alice is getting hungry and forgot to bring cash. She remembers that eCash now has a geolocation feature in which she can easily view the eCash merchants near her, especially restaurants. Her co-workers also ask her to order food for them.
Chicken chow mein, please, and a Coke.
The merchant sends her the payment link, she taps confirm, and within a few minutes, her food is delivered. Alice then views her transaction history and taps on the transaction recently made. Then taps the split the bill button where she selects the unevenly option and moves the bar to the desired amount per person. The request is then sent to her friends. Her colleagues accept the request and are ready to enjoy their meals. Geolocation and splitting the bill via eCash make Alice's life a whole lot easier.
Bio-based plastics are plastics made partially or entirely from plant or biological material instead of petroleum. For example, plastics made from sugarcane bagasse, starch, and hemp. Bio-based plastics are great alternatives to petroleum-based plastics commonly found on the market and are mostly used in packaging applications and in fibers in the textile sector. If properly disposed of, these plastics break down faster and have little to no negative side effects on the environment when broken down. Click on the link below to see what you can do to help end the nightmare of single-use plastics. I'm Alison Castillo, and now you know.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
An elderly couple from the Lake Independence constituency was the recipient of a one-bedroom concrete bungalow courtesy of the government of Belize. Area Representative Cordell Hyde says he promised Marco Chan and his family that he would provide them with a house as soon as the People's United Party returned to office. That promise was made in 2008. And finally, after almost 15 years, Hyde has delivered. A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held on Fern Lane this morning.
I'm glad to see you all here, and I really appreciate it. For all my friends and family who is here with me, to see that I am receiving something that I was really wanted to have. And I really appreciate this, what they've done for me, and I really love it. And I don't know when I could ever stop loving these things. And never stop with Mr. Cordell. He's the best man around here.
I made this promise maybe like from 2008. I'm not expecting that we would have been out that long. I ended up actually leaving and coming back. But I came back to politics primarily for people like Mr. Anna, so that I could fulfill the promise I made to those people. Because I grew up in this era, I lived just like them, grew up just like them, so I could relate entirely to the challenges they have. And that's our job as representatives and government ministers, really, to try as very best as we can to deliver to as many people as we can, primarily the people who need our help the most. And we just want a little lift. You know, this house will take them forward for generations, you know, because previous to that, Mr. Morrow didn't even know if he would make it to this day, because he's been battling a lot of illnesses. So I'm happy that he's here, happy that they have a start. It's a 1-bedroom, but it has an opportunity to grow into multiple bedrooms, I think up to 4 bedrooms. It's a big deal, man. A new house is a big deal.
Well, this is just one of hundreds that we're working on. As you can see, just to be able to access the property, we had to build the road, and we had to kind of fill the lot. So sometimes it ends up being more than just building the house, but that's what we're here for. These people are in need, and they have no other means. We had a mandate when we formed this government, and we are fulfilling that as best as we can. So it's a pleasure for us to assist them.
Belizeans are visiting the Lands Department daily to find complaints over the duplication of land titles, according to Minister of Natural Resources Cordell Hyde. Hyde says many of these complainants are taking the government of Belize to court. The duplication of land titles occurs when 2 or more persons were issued titles to the same piece of land. Hyde says there are also cases at the Lands Department in which landowners are claiming that the government of Belize acquired portions of their properties without compensating them. And while Hyde contends that these are all doings of past administration, these settlements are costing the Briceño administration significant sums of money. Hyde told us about a recent settlement in which GOB paid over $500,000 to the grandchild of a deceased claimant.
That's ongoing, man. That takes up a lot of our time at the ministry, a lot of our time to wrestle with these cases, because not every day, but almost every day, someone is coming out the woodwork. We just settled a case recently that was 50 years old, right? 50 years ago, like in 1972, the then government acquired a piece of land from a lady who is now deceased, from the Ladeville area, to push through the road. Her family has spent all those decades trying to get compensation. They never did. We finally settled with a grandchild a few weeks ago. And that grandchild is probably 60, right? So it's cases keep coming. And it's scary, the amounts of millions that people are demanding from us. And in fact, right now the government is engaged in trying to look critically at the law to see how we can amend it, to kind of protect the government from times when we make a simple mistake and not have to pay market value for that. So it's lots of millions, man. I tell the story all the time of this case from down south where someone got 172 acres. The government really didn't have, like 130 of that was not within government's power to let. They gave them the land. They probably paid like $56,000 for that. Even though they valued it at $100,000 at the time. They paid $56,000 because they had done some work for the government or something. It turns out the land wasn't for the government. They were suing the government for $17 million, right? So we have to be fighting that.
Energy security remains a primary concern for many countries in the region, particularly in light of the war in Ukraine. These countries are exploring the possibility of doing business with Venezuela, an oil-rich nation that is willing to partner in addressing this issue. The United States, however, has brought down heavy sanctions on Venezuela, notwithstanding the support that it has gotten from other countries in the Caribbean and Latin America. The recent Summit of the Americas served to highlight that support.
I think that has helped us because the Americans realize the importance of Venezuela to the region, the importance of the region to the United States. There's 15 votes in the OAS half. And we have an issue with energy, and there's a country that we're seeking to do business with that seems to be moving closer and closer to be able to do it. The United States realizes that, listen, we need to sit down and have a discussion about this. If not, China will. If not, Russia will. And so as you look at the geopolitical horizon, you have to understand that each one of these moves has a counter move. Some are not seen, many are not seen. There are many discussions taking place. Hopefully, that will result in direct benefit to the Belizean people and to the region as a whole.
Just ahead, basketball scholarships for primary school students.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benque Viejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
When all hope is lost and the days ahead look grim, we find ourselves looking for someone to shake things up, rescue us, and point us in the right direction. What if the one we've been waiting for has been here all along? Join us for our new series, Troublemaker, as we learn about a man who wasn't afraid to stand up for what's right to make this world a better place.
I'm always on the go, and the country is my home. So when I want to get away from it all, I immerse myself with my favorite movies, all from the new Smart Stream app. It's easy to use this service. Purchase your movies from the app and use your mobile data, Smart Stream data packages, or smart broadband to stream and enjoy. Be like me and stream on the go with Smart Stream.
And Messi is standing over this. Messi.
Great entertainment stays with you, and we bring you great entertainment. Next Gen, the ultimate digital experience.
Hello eCash user, the eCash app is now available in Spanish. Changing the language in your eCash app from English to Spanish is quick and easy. Let me walk you through the steps. First, open your eCash app. Enter your PIN. Tap the More icon at the bottom of your screen. Choose Security. Select Language. Tap on Spanish. Then re-enter your PIN. And that's it! Your eCash app is now in Spanish, and you can continue to enjoy your eCash digital wallet. Belize Bank's eCash app makes life easier.
Aside from the regular street repairs, there has not been large-scale resurfacing of streets in Belize City lately. The Belize City Council has invested in the repair of well over 100 streets during its 2 terms in office. And as it heads into the last half of its term, the city's infrastructure will again be priority on the council's to-do list. Mayor Bernard Wagner shared that there are still quite a number of streets left to resurface in the less trafficked areas, such as the Antelope Street Extension and Pelican Street Extension.
We are right now negotiating some significant infrastructure work for the city between this year and next year. Significant infrastructure in terms of streets, in terms of really addressing some of those back streets where people suffer each and every day when it rains, or when it doesn't rain, it becomes dust. We shouldn't be living in a city no longer where when it rain that you have this dust to deal with. So I promise you, and I promise the residents of this city, that between this year and next year we'll be doing significant infrastructure. I can't tell you the numbers, but we are getting the funding to really address streets issues in our city.
And how much funding?
We are looking at between 4 to 5 million.
It's been a couple of months since bus operators started to receive their full subsidy to stay afloat in the transportation industry. The government's hope was that 6 months would buy time for the war in Ukraine to end or subside. That conflict has been blamed as the primary reason for the fuel price hikes across the globe. But there's been a relentless upscale of prices. And if the 6-month period allotted for the subsidy expires before the war ends, Minister of Transport Rodwell Ferguson told News 5 that Cabinet will likely have to sit down again to come up with a new arrangement.
I have to revisit the entire structure again. The 6 months is for a period of 6 months, and after 6 months we'll have to take a new paper to Cabinet if the price continues to rise. And as I always mention and maintain that I want to see an improved transportation system. So we are continuing negotiation, and hopefully by December you will see a complete change in this country.
And have they been, on their part, living up to what they've promised they would do? That is, to upgrade the system, the service that they provide?
Well, I guess within a week or two, we are going to sign an MOU with National Bank to see what will be the prospect after trying to assist all the bus operators across this country.
The Ministry of Sports is holding a series of basketball tournaments for youths under the age of 18, with a view to provide them with scholarships. Through this effort, children of primary school age across the country who are skilled in the sport of basketball will be able to get a chance to enter high school and beyond. Sports Director at the National Sports Council, Ian Cowell, shared the details with us.
We have the basketball tournaments that are happening right now, and we hope to engage other disciplines as well to ensure that we work together with the associations and federations to see how best we can attract more people into our facilities. That is what we are using right now to turn around and get the cash prizes as well for the young people. For example, in this national competition, the under 18 winners will be receiving scholarships. They won't get any monetary cash basketball. They will be receiving scholarships where that will go directly to the school, because we don't believe in giving these young kids money. We'll deposit that directly to the school, so that is what will be their prize. Now in the adult category, then they will be receiving cash prizes.
Meanwhile, Minister of Sports Rodwell Ferguson informed News 5 that his ministry plans on establishing sporting academies in all 6 districts with a view to train Belize's children in the disciplines of football and basketball. Belmopan Mayor Sharon Palacio is calling on women from all 9 municipalities to participate in a free soap-making workshop. The training is being facilitated by an internationally certified soap maker out of Ghana who has invested the last decade of her life in empowering women. The sessions kick off on Monday, June 20th at the Belmopan Civic Center. We spoke with Mayor Palacio about this upcoming training.
This training came about due to my consistent, and my persistent humanitarian approach to the realities. We have a lot of women who comes to City Hall and really and truly requesting jobs. Everybody wants a job. And as you know, we need to have the finances. We have a lot of jobs all over, but when it comes to finances, we don't have. So I was blessed to have 2 visitors from Ghana coming to create a collaboration with me at City Hall. And following shortly, I found myself in Ghana and I met Jador. I've attended some of her trainings in Ghana and I saw whereby a lot of the women became, due to the training that they received from her, they're making their own monies. And I know soap is something that we use to clean our homes, to wash our dishes, to bathe ourselves. And she has the recipe for all these things.
Soap making is something that I've been doing for almost 10 years now. But for me to be a certified soap maker, it's like 6 years now for me to go around, because this is something that I love to do. So I was like, why don't I go big? Why don't I improve myself by going more international? So I had to travel to Dubai, to one of the best soap maker in Dubai, that's Mihela. That's where I learned how to make my cold press soap and other soaps. Again, I had to travel all the way to Morocco again to go and learn about how to make Moroccan soap. By me doing all this, not for me alone, is to share with other women to also make them more independent and then be their own bosses.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.